A growing list of businesses are cutting ties with Trump and his family, including Deutsche Bank, which has been his biggest lender. New York City has also dumped Trump. It's severing all contracts with the Trump Organization, which operates a carousel and skating rinks in Central Park, as well as a golf course in the Bronx. The deals are worth about $17 million US a year. Now, social media sites have also distanced themselves from Trump in the wake of the Capitol Hill riots. Some of the biggest players, including Twitter and Facebook. But some are criticizing the crackdown by the tech giants, calling it censorship and a violation of the First Amendment rights in the United States. For a closer look, we're joined by Gene Polincinski with the Freedom Forum, who joins us from Indiana. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. This opens, of course, a big discussion over censorship, free speech, free expression here in Canada under Section 2 of the Charter of Rights. This has been challenged in some cases. Trump, many of his supporters calling it censorship. Talk about the potential legal implications of these social media sites banning them.
Good morning, Anthony. By law, actually, the social media companies have every right to decide what they're going to carry on their websites or their social media sites. They're a private company. The First Amendment in the United States applies only to government. It was intended to restrain government from punishing us or preventing us from speaking. So on the legal grounds, they have every right to do. In addition, they have those things that we never read, all that boilerplate when we sign up, called terms of service. And in the terms of service for each of those sites, they have a contractual right to limit or ban or remove comments that they find inappropriate for whatever reason, really, that they cite. So legally, they're fine. I think you're talking, and many people are talking about the atmospherics around it. It's become such an important way to communicate that it almost approaches the kind of government aspect in terms of its reach, having the ability to communicate. I call it going, in our history, from the village green to the village screen. It's where we talk to each other. So I think we're going to see more fights over this, but currently the law is on the side of the social media company.
Now, of course, this does open up the bigger discussion, but when it comes to President Trump, for example, any, concern or his allegation that his free speech is hindered is countered by the fact that he has microphones that he can speak to. He has a press room that he can go to at any point.
Yeah, I mean, he can literally step, I don't know what it is, about 50, 60 feet into the White House press room from an office and command the attention of the nation and the world at any time. In addition, there are social sites. They may not have the reach at the moment of a Twitter or a Facebook, but there is that option. I think one lesson that we've learned from the web over the last years is that if you want to find a way to speak, you're going to find a way to speak. So, again, I think that argument sort of falls down very quickly.
But this is, of course, a reminder to everyone that there are limits to what we consider free speech and freedom of expression, isn't it? Especially when it comes to social media sites.
Well, it is. And, again, social media we tend to think of as so new and so innovative. And it really is just an extension of ways we've used to communicate before. So there are rules about making personal threats. There are rules about, in this case, incitement to violence that are set in law and that are well established. So, we tend to think of it as a whole new way to talk. Well, 100 years ago, people thought the telephone was a whole new way to communicate. And we managed to fold that into our daily practices and our laws. So I think, we need to be careful. We get what some people wish for. Right now, if you do something that, let's say, again, the example at hand, incite to violence, what happens if you're on Twitter? Well, you get banned from Twitter or you get suspended from Twitter. You bring the government in, having some control over when those decisions are made. And when you violate those, you could face jail or fine. So, again, I think it's a very mixed bag when we talk about it. And I'm, as a free speech advocate, very worried of any time we bring government into making a decision about what we say. If I don't like, or if I say something Twitter doesn't like, I can move elsewhere. I say something the government doesn't like in the broadest sense, and I could face jail or a fine.
Yeah, you raised some very important questions, and of course, the residual result is there are other platforms that open up, and it becomes more underground. Of course, to be continued, because there are many layers to this conversation. Of course, we are having it in this country as well. We have to leave the conversation there, but we appreciate your time. Gene Polincinski with the Freedom Forum joining us from Indiana. Thank you again.